Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I'm your chemistry teacher here. Today we discuss about the uses of isotopes, which is mentioned chapter number 2 atomic structure on page number 57 and 58. So what are the uses of isotopes? Before we discuss the uses of isotopes, first of all we discuss the definition of the isotopes. That what are the isotopes? Isotopes are the atoms of the same element which have the same atomic number but different mass number. So isotopes are the element having the same atomic number but different mass number. Then we discuss the uses that isotopes are used in the chemical, agriculture and the medical research for the diagnosing and the treatment of diseases. Means that the isotopes are used in the chemical, agriculture and the medical research for the treatment of the different diseases. These uses can be discussed by one. First of all, the isotopes of the certain elements show the radioactivity while others are not. Here the question arises that what is radioactivity? Means that the isotopes of the certain element show the radioactivity. They are the radioactive atoms. So what is the radioactivity? First of all, we discussed that what is radioactivity. Radioactivity is the process by which an unstable nucleus loses energy by emitting the radiation such as the alpha, beta and gamma. So, what is the radioactivity? Radioactivity means that the process in which the unstable nucleus means that the nucleus having a high energy or more energetic, so it loses energy for gaining the stability. So, when it loses energy by emitting radiation or energy in the form of a alpha, beta, and gamma radiations. Now, what are the alpha, beta, and gamma radiations? So, we discuss one by one that what is alpha radiation, beta radiation and the gamma radiation. Alpha radiation means that the emission of the alpha particles and having the positive charge. Beta radiation means that the emission of the beta particles or having the negative charge, and gamma radiation is the emission of the energetic photons or having the neutral charge. And isotopes will be the radioactive if its nuclei are unstable. These emitted radiations means that the alpha, beta, gamma radiations are used for the several purposes for use for the treatment of the different diseases. Some of the uses of the radioisotopes are radioisotopes means that the radioactive atom produces alpha, beta and gamma radiations. Then we discussed that the radioactive atom, girls, you can see on your screen that the radioactive produces energy in the form of alpha, beta and gamma. Then with the help of this video you can see that the alpha, beta and gamma. So the alpha, beta and gamma means that the alpha, beta and gamma means that the alpha particles passes can pass only a paper, beta particles can pass only a paper and the aluminum, and the gamma particle which is the more energetic particle and passes through paper, aluminum and lead. then then we discuss the alpha, beta and gamma penetration power means the power that they can pass through different materials. So the alpha particle penetration power is low. They can just pass or only pass through a paper. Beta radiation or the beta particle penetration power is more than the alpha particle and they can pass through paper and the plastic. And then the gamma radiation, which is the more energetic or which is the more penetrating power than the alpha and beta. So the gamma radiations can pass through the paper, plastic and the lead or the steel. Then we can discuss that the alpha, beta and gamma in the human beings, because these are the radioactive atom and the radioactive atom produce alpha, beta and gamma radiations and they are used for the treatment of the different diseases. So alpha, beta and gamma radiation. So the alpha radiation can pass only through the skin. Alpha radiation can pass only through the skin, Beta radiation can pass skin and the tissue, but gamma radiation, which having the high penetrating power as compared to the alpha and the beta, so they can pass to the skin, tissue, bone and the organs and detect the defective part in the body. Then we discuss the medical uses of the isotopes. Medical uses of the isotope. First of all, we discuss the treatment of goiter. Treatment of goiter. Iodine 131 is an isotope become concentrated on the thyroid gland used for the treatment of the goiter. Means that the iodine 131 is used for the treatment of the goiter. Like you can see on your screen that the larynx and the trachea, and between the larynx and the trachea there's a thyroid gland. There's a thyroid gland which is mentioned in the neck region. So when iodine 131 iodine 131 is injected, so gamma probe are used for the measuring thyroid gland radioactivity. We can say when the isotope of iodine that emits the radiations or the radiations like the gamma radiations, when the iodine 131 is injected, is swallowed by, so it is absorbed into the bloodstream and concentrated blood by the thyroid gland, where it begins destroy the gland cells. Means that when the radioactive iodine is injected, so when they are swallowed or absorbed into the bloodstream, so they produce the radiations or produce the gamma radiations, and then the different props are used, different instruments are used for them to find the radioactivity, to find the thyroid gland radioactivity. Then you can also see on your screen that the in the neck region, in the thyroid region, there is a radioactive isotope and they show the radiations. The light show that they show the radiations, or the radiations like the gamma radiations, or this gamma radiations destroy the gland cell. And then the brain imaging means that the iodine 123 is used for the brain imaging means that the iodine 123 is an excellent gamma radiation and is used for the brain imaging through the help of a CT scan, MRI, PT, etc. Then we discuss about the tracer studies, means that deuterium, heavy carbon, heavy nitrogen, heavy oxygen, iodine 131. These all are the isotopes having the same atomic number but different mass number, and they are also the radioactive atoms. So used as a tracer elements in the biochemical and the physiochemical research to trace the path of the element to the defective or the abstracted part. Then the treatment of the cancer, cobalt 60 are used in the treatment of the cancer for diagnosing of the tumors. Like we can say that the gamma rays emitted by the cobalt 60 where the radiotherapy instrument delivering a high dose of radiations to the tumor area and processing surrounding the healthy tissue. When the cobalt 60 is used for the chemotherapy, so this cobalt 60 produce the gamma radiations, and gamma radiation destroy the tumors. Then you can also see in your screen that the target gamma rays and the radioactive cobalt is used for destroying the tumors in the body. Then we discuss about the blood circulation. Blood circulation means that the sodium 24 isotope sodium 24 is used for the identification of the blood circulation problems in patients. So the sodium 24 means that the salt containing compounds of sodium 24 is injected into the bloodstream to help to locate the obstruction to the flow of the blood. Means when the sodium 24 is injected into the bloodstream, so the Geiger counter detects the radiation from the sodium, and this sodium 24 when injected into the bloodstream, they produce the radioactivity in the blood or the showing the defective part in the body. And this can be seen by the screen. You can see in the third ink writing recorder shows root of the 24. Then we discuss about the agriculture uses of the carbon or agriculture uses of the isotopes. So first of all, the reduction of carbon. Carbon 14 is used to trace the path of the carbon in photosynthesis, means that the carbon 14 is used in the process of the photosynthesis. So the cosmic radiations or the ultraviolet radiations produce neutrons. That neutron is highly energetic neutrons or highly energetic particles. So when this highly energetic particle is injected or is passed through the nitrogen 14, so in this case the nitrogen 14 knocked out one proton and is converted into the carbon 14. And when this carbon 14 reacts oxygen which is present in the atmosphere, so form the carbon dioxide, and when this carbon dioxide plus water react, so form the photosynthesis, means that the carbon 14 carbon 14 carbon 14 is present in the plants, and then this plant is taken by the human beings, and then this carbon 14 is shifted into the human beings or the living organisms. You can also see that the neutrons emitted by the cosmic radiation, it is absorbed by the nitrogen atom, and the nitrogen atom is converted into the carbon 14, and this carbon 14 is consumed by the plants or the living organisms. Then what is the carbon dating? Estimation of the age of the plant and animals remains by measuring the amount of the radioactive decay product is called the chemical or the carbon dating. Means that the estimate the age of the plants and the animals by the help of the carbon 14. By the help of a carbon 14 is known as a chemical or carbon dating. A more recent method involved the use of a radioactive isotope is carbon 14, means that how they react. The basis of the radioactive dating is simple. All living organisms absorb carbon from the atmosphere in good sources around them, including a certain amount of a natural radioactive carbon 14. When the plants or the animals dies, they stop absorbing, but the radioactive carbon continue to decay. Means when the plants and animals in the life they absorbing carbon 14, but when plants or animal dies, so they stop absorbing, and in this point the radioactive carbon, means the carbon 14s start to decay, means the decomposition process is starting. Like you can see on your screen that the carbon 14 and the living organism during life, carbon 14 gained by the living organism, but in the case of a death, carbon 14 no gain, and the carbon 14 start decay process, the decomposition process. Then half life, it is amount of the time it takes for half the atoms to decay. Half life means that the half the atoms to decay, half the atoms to the radioactive decay, means the radioactive atom start decay, and it will be reached to the half of the atoms. Like you can see that the carbon 14 which is taken by the plants and the animals, but when this plants and animals death starting, so in first case at the death 100% of carbon 14 is present, then the 50% of carbon 14 is present after the years like 5730 years, then the 25% of the carbon 14 in the air like 11460 years, and then the 12.5% of the carbon 14 17190 years. Means that the decay of the carbon 14 is started after the death of the living organisms. Then the reduction of the phosphorus, small amount of phosphorus P32 in phosphate fertilizer is able to detect the metabolism of phosphorus by plants. A Geiger counter is used to detect the movement of the radioactive phosphorus 32 throughout the plant. This information helps the scientists understand the detailed mechanism of how plants utilize phosphorus to grow and reproduce. You can see on your screen that's the phosphorus. When this phosphorus is injected into the plants, so they are the radioactive, they produce radiations, and they detect the part where the abnormalities will be caused. Then we discuss the daily life uses like the smoke detectors. Eminium 24 is used in smoke detector. It is also used to determine where oil wells should be drilled. Like you can see that the source produce the alpha particles ionizes the air molecules like the positive and the negative ions. Smoke particle disrupt these current produced by the radioactive particles and detects alarm. You can see on your screen that the metallic plates having the positive and the negative charge or the source produce the alpha and the alpha radiations. When this alpha radiations passes in this ionization chamber, so they form the positive or the negative ions. They form the positive or the negative ions and the current is produced. When the smoke particle enter in this ionization chamber, so it disturbs the positive and the negative ions flow. So here the alarm is bell and detect the fire, etc. Now finding moisture content. Californium 252 is used to measure the moisture content of soil in road construction and in building construction. Californium is used for the road construction and the building constructions. Then in the last we can discuss that the electrical appliances krypton 85 is used in electrical cloth washer to measure the dust and the pollutants levels.